Hey, how's it going? Gareth James here, one of the authors of Purposeful Practice for Poker. Now, in the book, one of the learning projects that we go through is all about ICM and final table strategy. So in this video, I want to show you how to find some final table hands to analyze. I'm going to show you how to set up the hands in Hold'em Resources Calculator so you can analyze them. And I'm going to show you how to come up with your own range estimates using Equilab first, so that we can then compare the ranges that you've come up with to the ranges in the solution. Now, as you can see from the first paragraph of this chapter, it says the final table of any tournament is where more money is won and lost than at any other stage of the game. So it makes sense, if you play tournaments, that you would want to spend a decent amount of study time on understanding ICM and how it affects your strategy at a final table. So let's look now at how we actually find some final table hands to analyze. Okay, so I've just come onto YouTube here, and in the search bar, I've just put in PokerStars replay. So the PokerStars client actually replays some of the biggest tournaments from each week, and also during series like Scoop and W Coop and NJ Scoop, you can see there as well. So one of the most popular replay channels, I guess, is this Cali Poker TV. I'm not affiliated at all with this channel. It's just the first one that comes up, and it seems to have, a ton of videos to analyze. But there's lots of different other channels that do the same thing. So you're basically looking for any kind of channel that shows you whole cards up, so you can analyze different situations. They're always going to be final tables, and this is what our focus is. It's all about ICM and final table strategy. And yeah, the real benefit of having whole cards up is you can see, what the really good players are doing, and you can also actually find some mistakes that lots of players are still making on final tables, and that should give you some confidence moving forward to see that actually, if you're working hard on ICM, understanding ICM and final table strategy, you're actually going to be able to create a pretty big edge. Okay, so here I've loaded up the Sunday Million from the 2nd of June 2019. This is the final table replay. Before I move on, obviously if you have made final tables and you have the hands saved in your own database, so if you're saving them in software like Poker Tracker or Hold'em Manager, then obviously you can just load the hand histories in the replayer in those softwares or those software programs, and then you can just analyze the hands as in exactly the same way that we're going to do here. If you don't have access to hands, maybe you play on sites that don't allow you to save hand histories, or you're primarily a live player, then I think this is a pretty good way to find hands and to work on this part of your game. So the full replay here is about an hour and a half. Now, I don't expect you to sit through an hour and a half's worth of footage. So the best thing to do is to just scroll through until you see that one of these players is no longer there, and you can work out that they must have busted, and there's a pretty big chance that they were involved in a push fold, very simple push fold spot that you can go ahead and analyze. So as you're scrolling through, you might even find some hands where players don't bust, but it's a pretty interesting spot. I've paused here on this spot where the button has around 15 bigs and is going to shove, and I think it's a pretty good one to analyze to see what should the small blind call and what should the big blind call. And then you can go one step further and you can say, okay, well, if when the small blind calls, what should the big blind overcall? And so there's lots of things to learn here straight away. Okay, so we're going to pause it here on the big blind's decision. Now you're probably looking at this and thinking, well, I know that queens is going to be a call here. Very, very easy call. But I think it's really, really important to think about, well, what other hands should we call in this situation? One of the projects we look at is all about defending your big blind. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to construct your own ranges from GTO Solutions. I'm going to show you how to set up the random playing card shuffler so you can test yourself with those ranges. And then I'm going to show you how you can measure your own progress. So let's get into it and have a look at how we construct our own ranges from GTO Solutions. So this is the spot we're going to look at. The button opens for 2.2 bigs and the small blind folds, and it folds to us. And we have 18.5 big blinds back, so playing roughly 20 big blinds. And we want to think about the kind of hands we want to jam, the hands we want to call, and the hands we want to fold. So this is the GTO solution. These are preflop solutions produced by one of two sites. One's called monkaguide.com and one's called rangeconverter.com, where you can purchase tournament preflop solutions. This is just one of them, which is big blind versus button for 20 big blinds. And as you can see, this is the range. So let me just walk you through what the colors mean. Red means jam, yellow means call, and white means fold. So pretty straightforward. As you get deeper, there's going to be other colors in the range. So what you'll find is that there's like a brownie color, which is 3-bet. So you'll have, more things to think about. But at 20 big blinds in this spot, we're really just calling, folding, or jamming. So now I want to walk you through the process of sort of converting this range into something that you can remember and actually apply in game. So what I'm going to use for this is Equilab and run through how I would construct my own range based on this solution. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got the preflop solution on the left-hand side, and then I have an open sort of matrix editor, range editor here from Power Equilab. So yeah, I really like Power Equilab because you can color code ranges, which is really, really nice. I don't think you can do that in the free version of Equilab, but with the free version, you can at least put together your own ranges. But yeah, I think it's really useful to be able to color code. As you can see, we've only got two colors here, red and yellow. White we're not going to include in the range, so we don't need to worry too much about it. But when we get into it and like 30 bigs, 40 bigs, 100 bigs, and we start to think about hands that we want to 3-bet or hands that are going to be more of a mix, then we might want to have more colors available to us. So yeah, pretty useful tool in that sense. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to select all of the hands that are in our range. So what I'm doing here is holding down Control and then clicking on the outer edge of the range, and it just selects all of the hands in there. And you can see that we're just going to select a ton of these different hands. I'm actually going to go for all of the hands, even though some of them look to be, not pure calls. They tend to be a mix of, mainly calling, but sometimes folding. But I'm going to add all of them for now. So this is the full range, and you can see down here it's the selected range 86.4%. So it means we're folding like 13.6%. And if we head over to the left-hand side, it says here in a sort of GTO land, we should fold around 15%. So what we could do is just get rid of a few of the weakest hands here. I mean, just getting rid of 5 deuce off and 6 3 off takes us down to 84.6%, which means we're folding 15.4. So that seems reasonable. You absolutely could just get rid of Jack 3 and Jack 2 and 10 5 if you wanted to. They're probably not making that much money. In this learning project in the book, we talk all about how to study playing versus c-bets out of position. As an extension to this section of the book, this video is going to show you how to use the Range Explorer in PioSolver to develop your strategy. So I'm going to walk you through that. Then going to look at how to group hands by hand strength to make learning easier, and then really sort of tie that all together by looking at why thinking in ranges is a lot more important than focusing on your individual hand. Okay, so this is the spot we are going to study today. So villain opens off 23 bigs from the hijack, and it folds around to us in the big blind, and we defend ace 5 off. The flop comes ace 10 4 with a flush draw, and villain goes ahead and bets just over 30%. I guess it's just less than a third. And we have a decision to make with ace 5 off. But as I kind of alluded to a moment ago, we want to be thinking about this spot in terms of our range. And the reason for that is that we want to be able to know what to do in this situation in the future when we have different types of hands. Sometimes we're going to have, let's say, 10 4 of diamonds. We might have a 10x hand with 2 hearts. So 10 of hearts and 6 of hearts. What are we going to do with that hand? We're going to have some stronger ace x hands here. We're also going to have some ace x with a backdoor flush draw. So we just want to be looking at this, in terms of our range. And as I said, I'm going to show you how to use the Range Explorer now to develop your strategy. Okay, so here is the hand loaded into Pio. We're at the I guess, the branch of the tree where villain has bet, and now the action is on us. So you can see all the hands on the screen are in our range. The hands that are missing, so you can see the pairs 3s plus are missing here. That's because those hands would be jammed pre-flop. Same goes for ace jack, and you can see ace queen suited, and some other hands as well. So we can just eyeball this this strategy and try to pick things up, but actually there's quite a lot that we can learn just by grouping these the different hands together. So that's one I'm going to show you now is how to use the Range Explorer and how to group the hands by hand strength to make learning easier. So we click on Range Explorer and then we click on Strat here. We get exactly the same window that we got before, but what we're going to do now is actually click this button that says Select None, and then work through the various different hand strengths. We don't have any sets in our range because aces and 10s and 4s we would 3-bet or jam pre. So the first category we get to, or hand strength, is 2 pair, and this just gives us a nice breakdown of what we should be doing with 2 pair. Okay, so what I've done now is just moved the Range Explorer to the left and added this Word document on the right. So what we're going to do is look at the various hand strengths, and we're going to look at what our strategy should be. So as I said, we don't have any sets, so the first hand strength we're going to look at is 2 pair, and generally we're going to be raising. Now you'll see little bits of green on ace 4 suited. If we hover over ace 4 suited, you can see it in a little bit more detail. So ace 4 of diamonds and ace 4 of clubs looks like it just wants to go ahead and raise most of the time, but ace 4 of spades wants to mix between raising and calling, and the reason for that is that we have a backdoor flush draw when we have ace 4 of spades.